Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, March 11th, 2024. Today we're going to recap the weekends: college basketball, NBA, NHL, MLB spring training, and soccer. Look at everything going on today. And we have golf, NASCAR, Formula One, the Oscars, news and notes, and best bet to do as well. College basketball will begin because it's March. A lot of big results from the weekend. And then we'll look ahead to a small window of tournament games today before the madness really begins. Friday, Big South quarterfinal, High Point over Radford 77-63. MVC quarterfinal, Indiana State over Missouri State 75-59. CAA first round, William & Mary over NCAT 79-62. Big South quarterfinal, Longwood over Winthrop 69-56. MVC quarterfinal, Northern Iowa over Belmont 67-62. CAA first round, Hampton over Elon 56-55. SoCon first round, Mercer over the Citadel 84-76. Big South quarterfinal, UNC Asheville over Charleston Southern 60-55. Western Michigan over Akron 90-84. Number 25 Dayton over VCU 91-86 in OT. MVC quarterfinal, Drake over Evansville 79-58. Ohio over Miami of Ohio 72-59. Bowling Green over Ball State 80-70. Northern Illinois over Buffalo 78-68. Central Michigan over East Michigan 65-62 in overtime. SoCon first round, ETSU over VMI 98-66. OVC semifinal, Little Rock over Western Illinois 82-57. Gardner-Webb quarterfinal, or Big South quarterfinal, Gardner-Webb over Presbyterian 61-60. Summit League first round, Oral Roberts over South Dakota 77-62. Toledo over Kent State 86-71. WCC second round, San Diego over Pepperdine 57-52. Toledo over Wichita State 85-75. MVC quarterfinal, Bradley over UIC 74-47. Boise State over number 21 San Diego State 79-77 in OT. OVC semifinal, Morgan State over Tennessee Martin 84-78. And WCC second round, Portland over LMU 78-70. All right, Saturday's results of note. Number 16 Alabama over Arkansas 92-88 in overtime. CAA second round, Monmouth over Campbell 90-67. NEC semifinal, Merrimack over Lemoyne 61-51. SoCon quarterfinal, Sanford over Mercer 70-57. Big South semifinal, Longwood upsets High Point 80-79 in overtime. FE over Memphis 92-84. St. John's over Georgetown 86-78. Brown over Yale 84-81 in OT. Sunbelt quarterfinal, App State over Georgia Southern 85-80 in OT. St. Louis over St. Bonaventure 73-65. Rhode Island over Fordham 58-50. St. Joe's over Dayton 89-71. Kansas State over number 6 Iowa State 65-58. Northeast Conference semifinal, Wagner over Central Con 66-56. America East quarterfinal, Bryant over Maine 84-58. Big South semifinal, Asheville over Gardner-Webb 83-72 in OT. Texas over Oklahoma 94-80. Cincy over West Virginia 92-56. A&M over Ole Miss 86-60. Duquesne over George Washington 67-65. Cornell over Columbia 98-76. Number 10 Creighton over Villanova 69-67. Number 17 South Carolina over Mississippi State 93-89 in OT. CA second round, Towson over William & Mary 76-56 or 67-56. SoCon quarterfinal, ETSU over UNC Greensboro 73-62. Virginia Tech over Notre Dame 82-76. George Mason over Richmond 64-46. Tulsa over number 24 South Florida 76-70. America East quarterfinal, Vermont over Albany 75-72. America East quarterfinal, New Hampshire over Binghamton 77-64. America East quarterfinal, UMass Law over UMBC 94-89 in OT. Sunbelt quarterfinal 89-62. Arkansas State over Louisiana. MVC semifinal, Indiana State over Northern Iowa 94-72. Number 1 Houston over number 14 Kansas 76-46. Number 15 Kentucky over number 4 Tennessee 85-81. Florida State over Miami 83-75. Charlotte over ECU 82-72. Loyola Chicago over LaSalle 64-54. Colorado State over Air Force 82-73. Vandy over Florida 79-78. Number 8 Marquette over Xavier 86-80. Colorado over Oregon State 73-57. UCF over TCU 79-77. BC over Louisville 67-61. Texas Tech over number 11 Baylor, 78-68. CAA second round, Stony Brook over Northeastern, 75-65. MVC semifinal, Drake over Bradley, 72-67. Sunbelt quarterfinal, Texas State over Troy, 74-68. SoCon quarterfinal, Chattanooga over Wofford, 75-57. Wake over Clemson, 81-76. Princeton over Penn, 105-83. Number 7, North Carolina over number 9 Duke, 84-79. Number 13, Auburn over Georgia, 92-78. Summer League quarterfinal, South Dakota State over Oral Roberts, 79-63. Oregon over Utah, 66-65. Wyoming over Fresno State, 86-47. Big Sky first round, Sacramento State over Idaho, 72-64. Pitt over NC State, 81-73. Number 2, UConn over Providence, 74-60. OVC final, Morgan State over Little Rock, 69-55. Virginia over Georgia Tech, 72-57. North Texas over Rice, 71-55. Grand Canyon over Cal Baptist, 68-47. Number 22, Utah State over New Mexico, 87-85. Sunbelt quarterfinal, James Madison over Marshall, 81-64. SoCon quarterfinal, Furman over Western Carolina, 79-76 in OT. Seton Hall over DePaul, 86-62. LSU over Missouri, 84-80. CAA second round, Delaware over Hampton, 80-50. Number 20, BYU over Oklahoma State, 85-71. Northwestern over Minnesota, 90-66. Summer League quarterfinal, Denver over KC, 61-60. USC upsets number 5, Arizona, 78-65. WCC quarterfinal, Santa Clara over San Diego, 104-79. Big Sky first round, Idaho State over Northern Arizona, 68-60. Nevada over Illinois, 75-65. UCLA over Arizona State, 59-47. And WCC quarterfinal, San Francisco over Portland, 72-51. And yesterday, CAA quarterfinal, Charleston over Monmouth, 83-59. Big South final, Longwood over UNC Asheville, 85-59. So Longwood's in the dance, and so is Morton State. Nebraska over Michigan, 85-70. Number 3, Purdue over Wisconsin, 78-70. Patriot League semifinal, Colgate over Bucknell, 68-65. Drake over Indiana State, 84-80 in the MVC final, so Drake's in the dance. ASUN final, Stetson over Austin Peay, 94-91, so Stetson's in the dance. Ohio State over Rutgers, 73-51. CAA quarterfinal, Townsend over UNC Wilmington, 66-56. Temple over UTSA, 84-82. UAB over SMU, 74-70. Patriot League semifinal, Lehigh over BU, 84-79 OT. SoCon semifinal, Sanford over Furman, 84-77. Indiana over Michigan State, 65-64. CAA quarterfinal, Stony Brook over Drexel, 91-88 in double overtime. Southland first round, 78-66. New Orleans over Southeast Louisiana. Sunbelt semifinal, Arkansas State over App State, 67-65. SoCon semifinal, ETSU over Chattanooga, 85-84 at OT. Number 12, Illinois over Iowa, 73-61. Summit League quarterfinal, St. Thomas over North Dakota State, 68-58. Big Sky second round, Sacramento State over Eastern Washington, 74-69. Penn State over Maryland, 85-69. Southland first round, A&M Commerce over Northwestern State, 69-64. Sunbelt semifinal, James Madison over Texas State, 73-68. CAA quarterfinal, Hofstra over Delaware, 73-58. Summit League quarterfinal, Omaha over North Dakota, 73-72. In the Big Sky second round, Idaho State over Northern Colorado, 83-76. All right. Tonight's game, 6 o'clock, CAA semifinal, Townsend, Charleston. My line is Charleston, 6 3/4, so 142 and 11/20. And we have 4.5 and 137.5 over. Southland second round, New Orleans, Lamar. My line's Lamar, 7.1, total 151 and a 10. Then it's 9.5 and 158.5 under. Horizon League semifinal, 7 o'clock, ESPN News, Cleveland State, Oakland. My line's Oakland, 2.7, total 149 and 7/20. It's 4.5 and 144.5 over. On ESPN, the Sun Belt final, Arkansas State, James Madison. It's JMU, 11.3, total 153 9/10. And it's 6.5 and 154.5. I'm going to lay it with James Madison. Although I would probably bet Arkansas State on an alternate spread because of my ticket for James Madison for the Final Four that I gave out on Portfolio. I don't remember if that was last week or 2 weeks ago. SoCon final, 7 o'clock, ESPN2. ETSU Sanford, my line Sanford, 10.7 total, 150 and a tenth. It's 10.5 and 150 and a half. Oh, very close. Slightest of unders. Summer League semifinal, St. Thomas, South Dakota State. My South Dakota State, 3.5 to 142 and 9/10. It's 1.5 and 140 and a half. Over. Big Sky quarterfinal, Montana State, Weber State at 7:30. My line is Weber State 6.8, total 144 and a fifth. And it's 6.5 and 142 and a half. Slight over. 8:30 CBS Sports Network, CAA semifinal, Stony Brook Hofstra. Lions Hofstra 3.1 to 144 and 13/20. And it is 4.5 and 140 and a half. I like the over. Next up, A&M Commerce Nichols. Southland second round. My line is Nichols 8 1/4, so 148 and 7/4 or 7/20. I mean, it's 5.5 and 137 and a half. 9 o'clock on ESPN. Santa Clara and number 23 St. Mary's WCC semifinal. My line St. Mary's 7.6 to 140 and 3/5. It's 9.5 and 134 and a half. I like the over. 9:30 ESPN2, Horizon League semifinal, Milwaukee, Northern Kentucky. Lands Northern by 1/4 to 153. And it's 1/2 and 151 and a half. Slight over. Next up, Summit League semifinal, Denver, Omaha. That's an unlikely matchup. Mine's Omaha 1.6, 155 and 11/20, and it's 1.5 and 157 and a half. Slight under. 10 o'clock, Big Sky quarterfinal. Portland State, Montana. Mine's Montana 5.5 to 144 and 17/20, and it's 6.5 and 145 and a half. Slightly in Portland State. And then last but not least, 11:30 ESPN2 WCC semifinal, San Francisco number 19 Gonzaga. Mine's Gonzaga 4.5 to 148 and a tenth, and it is 8.5 and 148 and a half. I'm gonna take San Francisco to cover. All right, now we'll move on to the NBA. We'll go over the weekend's results and look ahead to tonight's window. Friday, Pelicans over the Sixers 103-95. Wizards over the Hornets 112-100. Cavs over the T-Wolves 113-104 in OT. Knicks over the Magic 98-74. Hawks over the Grizzlies 99-92. Thunder over the Heat 107-100. Lakers over the Bucks 123-122. And the Rockets over the Blazers 123-107. Saturday, Clippers over the Bulls 112-102. Hornets over the Nets 110-99. Mavs over the Pistons 142-124. Celtics over the Suns 117-107. Spurs over the Warriors 126-113. Nuggets over the Jazz 142-121. Blazers over the Raptors 128-118 in OT. And then yesterday, Bucks over the Clippers 124-117. Pelicans over the Hawks 116-103. Wizards over the Heat 110-108. Pacers over the Magic 111-97. Rockets over the Kings 112-104. Sixers over the Knicks 79-73. Nets over the Cavs 120-101. Thunder over the Grizzlies 124-93. And the Lakers over the Timberwolves 120-109. All right, tonight's game, 7 o'clock. You have the Hornets and the Pistons. Mine's the Pistons 5 3/4, so it's 28 and 19/20. And it is 3.5 and 216 over. 7:30 Suns Cavs. Mine's the Cavs 1.5 total 227 and 3/10. It's Suns 5.5 total 222.5. They must think that Mitchell's not back yet. I'm going to take the Cavs plus the points and plus 188 outright. 8 o'clock, Mavs Bulls. My line's the Bulls by half, total 231 and 3/20. And it's Mavs by 5, total 233. I'm taking the Bulls getting the 5, and I'll take them outright at plus 166. That line is solely Luka. That's not fair. NBA TV, Warriors Spurs. This sucks because no Curry. Maybe Wemby's back. Who knows? Minus the Warriors 2.25, so 234 and 3/10. And it's 5.5 and 228.5. I like the over. 9 o'clock, Raptors Nuggets. My line is the Nuggets 13.5, total 228 and 9/10. And it's 13.5 and 227.5. Oh, slight over. And last but not least, 10:30 NBA TV, Celtics Blazers. Mine's the Celtics by 12, total 227 and 3/10. And it's 7.5 and 216.5. I really like the over in that one. Now we'll go over the hockey from the weekend and look ahead to the hockey for tonight. So Friday, Avs over the Wild 2-1 OT. Coyotes over the Red Wings 4-0. Stars over the Ducks 6-2, so best bet 1. Jets over the Kraken 3-0. Saturday, Sabres over the Oilers 3-2 shootout. Canes over the Devils 4-2. Preds over the Jackets 2-1. Bruins over the Pens 5-1. Panthers over the Flames 5-3. Leafs over the Habs 3-2. Bolts over the Flyers 7-0. Rangers over the Blues 4-0. Caps over the Blackhawks 4-1. Sharks over the Sens 2-1. Canucks over the Jets 5-0. Golden Knights over the Red Wings 5-3. Stars over the Kings 4-1. And then yesterday, Oilers over the Penguins 4-0. Wild over the Preds 4-3 in overtime. We'll talk about that, I think, in news and notes. Canes over the Flames 7-2. Coyotes over, or the Blackhawks over the Coyotes 7-4. And the Islanders over the Ducks 6-1. Only 4 games tonight. 7 o'clock, NHL Network, Devils, Rangers. A must for the Rangers. The Canes getting Gensel. They got to do it. They're favored minus 154. The Devils are plus 128, over under 6.5. Overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Devils plus 1.5 is minus 182. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 150. I like the under. Blues, Bruins. Bruins minus 38, Blues plus 188, over under 5.5. Overs minus 122, unders even money. Blues plus 1.5 is minus 134. Bruins minus 1.5 is plus 112. Bruins puck line. The Blues have not been good lately. 7:30, Capitals, Jets. Jets minus 2.5, Caps plus 168, over under 5.5. Overs minus 122, unders even money. Caps plus 1.5 is minus 144. Jets minus 1.5 is plus 118. Under. And last but not least, Islanders, Kings at 10:30. Kings minus 154, Isles plus 128, over under 5.5. Overs minus 128, unders plus 104. Isles plus 1.5 is minus 196. Kings minus 1.5 is plus 162. I'm going to take the Islanders outright plus 128. They've been playing good hockey. And I haven't taken the dog to win outright yet for hockey tonight, so this is it. Plus 128. You know one of these dogs is going to win outright. And the shortest dogs on the board are the Islanders and the Devils. And I think the Islanders are going to beat the Kings, so let's go with that. Now I'm going to go over the spring training results from the weekend and look ahead to today's spring games. Friday, Jays over the Yanks 2-1. Phils over the Stros 6-3. Pirates over the Twins 6-3. Pirates Braves 6-6 tie. So the Pirates had a split squad. Guardians over the White Sox 2-1. Royals over the Rangers 4-2. Cubs over the Mariners 9-5. D-backs over the Cubs 7-5. So the Cubs had a split squad too. Angels over the Rockies 8-7. Brewers over the A's 7-4. The O's over the Tigers 4-3. Cards over the Nats 7-6. Mets over the Marlins 3-1. Brewers over the A's 5-4. So the Brewers also had a split squad. Reds, Dodgers, Giants, Padres both postponed. Saturday, Twins over the Yanks 10-7. Astros over the Nats 9-4. O's over the Braves 10-3. Mets over the Cards 9-3. Tigers over the Pirates 8-5. Jays over the Phils 13-5. Angels over the Guardians 5-4. Royals over the D-backs 6-5. Cubs over the Rockies 5-0. Giants over the A's 5-1. Dodgers over the Rangers 7-1. White Sox Padres 1-1 tie. Reds over the D-backs 7-5. Mariners over the Brewers 7-5. A's over the Brewers 4-2. Red Sox over the Rays 4-0 in the DR. And the Marlins over the Nats 4-1. All right, and then yesterday's results. Marlins over the Astros 3-0. Phillies over the Pirates 9-7. Yanks over the Braves 9-8. From DR, Red Sox over the Rays 7-6. Blue Jays O's 6-6 tied. Nats over the Twins 7-3. O's over the Jays 11-6. So the O's had a split squad. Tigers over the Mets 3-2. Cards over the Marlins 12-8. Dodgers over the D-backs 12-1. Giants over the White Sox 5-4. Cubs over the Rangers 5-1. Reds over the Guardians 5-3. A's over the Royals 6-3. Rockies over the Brewers 3-1. Angels over the Padres 5-4. Mariners over the Giants 8-3. All right, today's matchups. 1 o'clock. O's Yankees. Yankees Phil. So the Yankees have a split squad. Tigers Astros. Twins Braves. Pirates Red Sox. Blue Jays Rays. Nats Cards. 4 o'clock. Rockies White Sox Dodgers. Guardians Giants Royals. A's D-backs Padres Mariners. Rangers Angels. Marlins Mets at 6. Okay, now move on to the soccer from the weekend and look ahead to all the soccer today. So this is going to be a little long because we had a lot. We'll start with MLS. So Saturday, Portland over NYCFC 2-1, Toronto over Charlotte 1-0, Atlanta over New England 4-1, Columbus over Chicago 2-1, Red Bulls over Dallas 2-1, Minnesota over Orlando 3-2. Philly, Seattle abandoned. Wonder what happened there. It was abandoned due to waterlogged pitch. Weird. Austin, St. Louis 2-2 draw. Colorado over Salt Lake 2-1. LAFC KC 0-0 draw. Vancouver over San Jose 2-0. And then yesterday, Cincy, DC United, 0-0 draw. Galaxy, Nashville, 2-2 draw. And Montreal over Miami, 3-2. And no games until Saturday. All right. Gold Cup final, USA over Brazil, 1-0. The goal to win it for U.S., Lindsey Horan in the 46th minute. So good for USA women's. A really good test before the Olympics for sure in CONCACAF. Premier League. Saturday, Man United over Everton 2-0. Bournemouth Sheffield United 2-2 draw. Crystal Palace Luton 1-1 draw. Wolves over Fulham 2-1. Arsenal over Brentford 2-1. And yesterday, Tottenham over Aston Villa 4-0. Brighton over Nottingham Forest 1-0. West Ham Burnley 2-2 draw. Liverpool Man City 1-1 draw. And in one match today, Chelsea Newcastle. A really good game for sure. I think that this is a bigger game than people are making out to be. Chelsea's a home favorite, -110. Newcastle's +250, and the draw is 3-1. So, Chelsea right now is in 11th. So they're kind of just in the middle. Newcastle is in 10th. Chelsea's a home favorite. They need the game, but Newcastle's been the better team most of the year. I'm going to take the 3-1 draw. La Liga. Friday. Barcelona over Mallorca 1-0. Saturday, Valencia over Getafe 1-0. Cadiz over Atletico 2-0. Real Sociedad over Granada 3-2. Girona over Osasuna 2-0. And then yesterday, Alaves over Real 1-0. Atletico over Las Palmas 2-0. Real Madrid over Celta Vigo 4-0. And Villarreal over Betis 3-2. And then at 4 o'clock this afternoon, Almeria and Sevilla. Sevilla's +130. Almeria's +210. The draw's +220. Almeria is at the bottom of the league. Sevilla is 14th. Sevilla is the better team. They're favored. We'll take them at plus money, +130. Bundesliga. Friday, Stuttgart over Union Berlin 2-0. Saturday, Bayern over Mainz 8-1. Gladbach Cologne 3-3 draw. Augsburg over Heidenheim 1-0. RB Leipzig over Darmstadt 2-0. And Dortmund over Bremen 2-1. And then yesterday, Freiburg over Bochum 2-1, Frankfurt over Hoffenheim 3-1, and Leverkusen over Wolfsburg 2-0. The Women's FA Cup quarterfinals Saturday, Leicester over Liverpool 2-0, Man United over Brighton 4-0. And then yesterday, Chelsea over Everton 1-0. Tottenham Man City was a 1-1 draw, but Tottenham advances 4-3 on penalties. And then the semis will be coming up soon. Serie A. Friday, Napoli Torino 1-1 draw. Saturday, Cagliari over Salernitana 4-2. Sassuolo over Frosinone 1-0. Inter Milan over Bologna 1-0. Monza over Genoa 3-2. And then yesterday, Verona over Lecce 1-0. Milan over Empoli 1-0. Juventus Atalanta 2-2 draw. Fiorentina AS Roma 2-2 draw. And then today, 3:45, yeah, Lazio and Udinese. Lazio right now is in 9th. And Udinese is at the bottom. It's flirting with relegation. Lazio is minus 130. Udinese is plus 360. The draw is plus 230. I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals plus 126. League One. Friday, Montpellier over Nice 2-1. Saturday, Lyon over Lorient 2-0. Lens over Brest 1-0. And then yesterday, PSG Reims 2-2 draw. Le Havre AC over Toulouse 1-0. Metz over Clermont Foot 1-0. Monaco over Strasbourg 1-0. Lille Rennes 2-2 draw. And Marseille over Nantes 2-0. ELC. What do they call it? The EFL. Friday, Leeds over Sheffield Wednesday 2-0. Saturday, Cardiff over Ipswich 2-1. Blackburn Plymouth 1-1 draw. Hull Leicester 2-2 draw. Millwall over Birmingham 1-0. Norwich City over Rotherham 5-0. Stoke over Preston 2-1. Borough over QPR 2-0. Southampton over Sunderland 4-2. And Coventry over Watford 2-1. And then yesterday, West Brom over Huddersfield 4-1. And Bristol City over Swansea 1-0. And we have one game tomorrow, so we got to remember that. Dutch Eredivisie. Friday, PSV over Go Ahead Eagles 1-0. Saturday, FC Twente over Sparta 2-1. Almere City FC Utrecht 1-1 draw. RKC Waldrop over Vitesse 3-1. And then yesterday, AZ Alkmaar over Excelsior 4-0. Ajax Fortuna 2-2 draw. PEC Zwolle FC Volendam 1-1 draw. NEC over Heerenveen 2-0. And Feyenoord over Heracles 3-0. Liga MX. Friday, Puebla Atlas 2-2 draw. Necaxa over Athletic St. Louis 3-1. Juarez Toluca 1-1 draw. Saturday, Leon over Guadalajara 2-1. Querétaro over Pachuca 2-1. Santos over Cruz Azul 3-0. America over Tigres 2-0. And then yesterday, UNAM Tijuana 3-3 draw. At the time of recording, Monterrey over Mazatlan 2-1 in the 68th minute. And we don't have Scottish Premiership until Wednesday. Champions League round of 16 continues on Tuesday as well. Okay, now I'll move on to golf. We have 2 tournaments to talk about. We have the Arnold Palmer Invitational, and we have the Puerto Rico Open. First, we're going to do Arnold Palmer. Your winner would score 15 under, Scotty Scheffler. Second, 10 under, Wyndham Clark. Third, 9 under, Shane Lowry. Tied for fourth, 7 under, Will Zalatoris. And Ryan Henley tied for 6th with 5 under. Brendan Todd and Steve Thiglia tied for 8th with 4 under. Adam Putnam, Mariano Grillo, Max Homa, Bianganon. Tied for 12th with 3 under, Nate Taylor, Taylor Hogue, Hideki Matsuyama, Lucas Hodges, Brian Harmon, Justin Thomas. That was my pick. Tied for 18th with 2 under, Corey Connors, Cam Davis, Sanjay M. Tied for 21st at 1 under, Rory McIlroy, Seamus Power, Harry English, Eric Cole. Tied for 25th at even, Patrick Rogers, Grayson Murray, Evan Van Ryan, Xander Schauffele, Ludwig Aberg. 38th with 1 over, do notables. Mackenzie Hughes, Sam Burns, Webb Simpson, Siwoo Kim, Lucas Glover, Jordan Spieth. 36, 2 over. Justin Lauer, Jason Day, Keegan Bradley, Victor Hoven, Ricky Fowler, Austin Eckler, Patrick Cantlay, and Cam Young. 44, 3 over. Stefan Yeager, Chris Kirk, Christian Ziedenhout, Minwoo Lee. 48th, 4 over. Nick Dunlap, Taylor Moore, Dylan McCarthy. 51st, 5 over CT Pond. 52nd, 6 over. Adam Hadwin. 55th, 8 over JT Potson. 56th, 10 over Luke List. Tied for 57th with 12 over Sepp Straka and Jake Knapp. Among those cut, Adam Schenk, Nicholas Hojar, Justin Rose, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Sammy Valimaki, Adam Scott, Colin Morikawa, Kurt Katayama, Tommy Fleetwood, Adam Svensson. Puerto Rico Open, your winner with a score of 19 under, playoff score of 18. Bryce Garnett, second. Playoff score 19, total 19 under. Eric Barnes. Tied for third with 18 under. Victor Perez, Jimmy Stranger, and Hayden Springer. Tied for sixth with 17 under. Ben Coles, Joe Highsmith, and Adrian Dumont de Chazer. Ninth with 16 under. Norman Zong. 10th with 15 under. Matthias Schmid, Martin Laird, Austin Cook, Evan Harmeling, and Jackson Van Paris. Tied for 15th with 14 under. Henrik Norlander, Nicholas Echevarria, and Max Gracerman. 18th with 13 under. Richie Wierenski, Scott Stevens, Vincent Whaley, Raja Campos, and Rio Hisatune. 23rd with 12 under. Troy Merritt, Alex Baddeley, Kevin Chappell, Michael Kim, Cody Gribble, and Mac Meisner. Oh, also Aaron Ray, Tyler Duncan, and Jacob Bridgman. 32nd, 11 under. Sangil No, Kevin Tway, Grayson Higo, Tanner Gainey, Kevin Stroman, Robert McIntyre, Pearson Cootie, Zheng Du, Rico Hui, and Fred Biondi. Tied for 42nd, 10 under. Ben Martin, Harrison Endicott, Ben Silverman, Scott Piercy, Brandon Wu, Patrick Fishburne, and Rule Pareda. Now we do notables. 49th, 9 under. Joaquim Herman, Joel Dahman. 55th, 8 under. Ben Griffin, Roger Sloan, Robert Brem. 58th, 7 under. Michael Glidgick, Paul Haley. 61st, 6 under. Sang Moon Bay, Kyle Stanley, Sean O'Hare. 68th, 4 under. Brian Stewart and Austin Smotherman. 71st, 3 under. Chris Stroud. Among those cut, Harry Higgs, William McGirt, Pat Gazier, Robert Streb, Trevor Clough, Russell Knox, Justin Sue, Camilo Vegas, Sodi Kodiara, Chris Goddard, Daniel Berger, S.H. Kim, Nate Lashley, Paul Bargen, Adam Long, Kevin Kisner, Ryan Moore, Kelly Craft, Parker Cootie, Ben Crane, MJ Doffe, DJ Tran, James Hahn, Matt Trainer, Wesley Bryant, Nate Watney, Cam Champ, Aaron Weiss, Jonathan Berg, D8 Points, Andrew Landry. And next up we have the Players. That's a good one. Players Stadium course in Ponte Verde Beach, Florida. So that's going to be an interesting one for sure. Now move on to NASCAR. 2 races to talk about for results. From Phoenix, Xfinity will do first. They raced Saturday. Your winner was Chandler Smith. Jesse Love second. Sheldon Creed third. Austin Hill fourth. Fifth was Cole Custer. Sixth, Shane Van Gisbergen. Brandon Jones seventh. Eighth was Parker Kligerman. Ninth was Sammy Smith. 10th was Anthony Alfredo. The rest: Lawless Honeyman, Ryan Sieg, Blaine Perkins, PJ McClellan, Jeremy Clements, Kyle Weatherman, Nick Leitz, AJ Allmendinger, JJ Yeley, Brennan Poole, Ryan Ellis, Corey Heim, William Byron, Riley Herbst, Kyle Sieg, Garrett Smithley, Josh Williams, Dawson Cram, Justin Algier, Frankie Muniz, Eric Almirola, John Hunter Nemechek, Haley Deegan, Sam Meyer, Parker Retzlaff, Jeff Burton, Ryan Vargas, Patrick Emmerling. And then the Cup Series from Phoenix, your winner was Chris Bell. Second was Chris Buescher. Third, Ty Gibbs. Fourth, Brad Kozlowski. Fifth, Ryan Blaney. Sixth, Ross Chastain. Seventh, Martin Truex Jr. Eighth, Michael McDowell. Ninth, Chase Briscoe. 10th, Tyler Reddick. The rest: Denny Hamlin, Noah Gragson, Daniel Suarez, Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar, Bubba Wallace, Todd Gilliland, William Byron, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kyle Busch, Ryan Preece, Justin Haley, John Hunter Nemechek, Josh Berry, Harrison Burton, Daniel Hemrick, Zane Smith, Kaz Gralla, Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, Corey LaJoie, Joey Logano, that was my pick, that was a flop, Derek Kraus, and Austin Cindric. Next weekend they're in Bristol, so that is going to be a lot of fun. Now we'll do F1. We had a race yesterday. It was Saturday. And yet again, he's on fire. Max Verstappen, he can't be beat. Sergio Perez second. Third, Charles Leclerc. Fourth, Oscar Piastri. Fifth, Fernando Alonso. Sixth, George Russell. Seventh, Oliver Bierman. Eighth, Lando Norris. Ninth, Lewis Hamilton. 10th, Nico Hülkenberg. The rest: Alex Albon, Kevin Magnussen, Esteban Ocon, Yuki Tsunoda, Logan Sargent, Daniel Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas, Guanyu Zhou, Lance Stroll, and Pierre Gasly. Next F1 race is not for another 2 weeks, so they're off next week, and then they go to Australia, which is going to be interesting on March 20th. Well, it's March 24th midnight, but it's going to be Sunday there, but technically late Saturday night on the 23rd. And the Oscars. We will go over all the big awards and such from what was a really good show. It was the 96th edition. Jimmy Kimmel, of course, was your host. Pretty much what we expected. Best Picture goes to Oppenheimer, of course. Well-deserved. They're a big favorite for that for a reason. Best Director went with Christopher Nolan of Oppenheimer. You knew that was going to happen, most likely. Best Actor, Cillian Murphy as J. Robert Oppenheimer in Oppenheimer. Best Actress is the one we got correct, as she should not have been an underdog. Emma Stone as Bella Baxter in Poor Things. Lily Gladstone was actually the favorite, but Emma Stone ended up winning. Best Supporting Actor went to Robert Downey Jr. as Louis Strauss in Oppenheimer. Best Supporting Actress went to Divine Joy Randolph as Mary Lamb in The Holdovers. I thought there was a chance that Emily Blunt was going to win that award. Best Original Screenplay went to Anatomy of a Fall. Best Adapted was American Fiction. Cord Jefferson, based on the novel Erasure by Percival Everett. Best Animated Feature, The Boy and the Heron. Best International Feature, The Zone of Interest. Doco Feature Film, 20 Days in Maripol. Doc Short Film, Last Repair Shop. Best Live Action, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. Best Animated Short, War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. Best Original Score, of course, went to Oppenheimer, as we would expect. Best Original Song was What Was I Made For from Barbie, of course. Best Sound, The Zone of Interest, Harn Willers and Johnny Byrne. I'm surprised that didn't go to Oppenheimer. That was a surprise. Best Production Design, Poor Things. Best Cinematography went to Oppenheimer, of course. Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Poor Things. So Poor Things got some stuff. Costume Design, Poor Things. Wow. Film Editing, Oppenheimer. Visual Effects, Godzilla -1. So those are the big awards for the Oscars. And like I said, this was going to be the Barbenheimer, but of course Oppenheimer dominated, and Barbie only got Best Song. And it's going to be interesting to see the batch of movies that will be in the 97th edition. The one I'm looking forward to, that I think is going to be next year's Oscars, is Joker Folie à Deux, which is Joker 2, and Lady Gaga's playing Harley Quinn. So this better be in the conversation in a year from now. So looking forward to that, obviously, for next year. Because I just wanted to point that out. Okay, now we'll move on to the news and notes for today. A lot of football stuff. Free agency is about to get underway. Players are talking to teams. So there's so many things where we could start. I'm just going to go in order. For most recent news to in backwards. The 49ers are cutting Eric Armstead as he's decided to become a free agent. That's according to Jordan Schultz of Bleacher Report. I think he'll have a market. Bobby Wagner likely leaving the Seahawks to test free agency. Probably the right move. Who knows? Maybe he'll go back to the Rams. Kirk Cousins likely to test free agency. Most likely destinations are the Vikings, going back to Minnie, Atlanta, and Denver. A lot of people seem to think he's going to Atlanta. So we got to keep our eye out for that. Bucks Baker contract. So they re-signed Baker. 3 years, $100 million, $50 million guaranteed, and has a chance to earn up to $115 million over 3 years. So I like it, but I do think there's a possibility he's the Daniel Jones of 2024, and all of a sudden that contract expires remorse like the Giants' Daniel Jones contract is, and like how Geno Smith's contract expires remorse, and so is Derek Carr's. But the Daniel Jones one's getting the most public because they have the 6th pick in the draft. And that's why Seattle and New Orleans aren't being talked about enough in terms of buyer's remorse contracts. And Jones, of course, got hurt. So good on Baker for getting paid. So here's a big free agent signing Kevin Byard is going to the Chicago Bears, 2-year deal, $15 million. That's a good signing for them. They could use some veterans on their defense. The Bucks are open to trading Carlton Davis and Jamal Dean. They're probably looking to get that Baker contract, and then they re-signed Evans, and then they're going to extend Winfield. Teron Armstead and the Dolphins are nearing a new deal as they're finalizing an adjusted contract to keep him with the Dolphins. That's someone I thought was getting cut on Miami. I knew there was going to be some big names cut. Like, obviously, Howard got cut. I thought it was going to potentially be Armstead. But I forget who I had as most likely cut. I think it was Armstead. And the Falcons are a contender for Kirk Cousins, who is reportedly making his decision tonight. As The Athletic reports that the Vikings are expected to hear from Cousins on his choice to explore free agency. How about this? Mac Jones traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Going back in the trades, a 6th-round pick. That is not a good return for New England for a guy that the last 2 years were really bad, and that's why the return's so bad. But like, the Cowboys gave up a 4th for Trey Lance. How did Mac Jones only get back a 6th? I don't like that. I like it for Jacksonville because obviously they could flip Mac Jones again, say if he's good in the preseason, and all of a sudden a quarterback tears his ACL or pulls a hammy and he's out for a while, and you could just trade for Mac Jones. But like, I could see him being traded again and the Jaguars getting a better return than the Patriots did for Mac. And 4 teams were interested. The Jags had competition for him. The Cowboys are eyeing Saquon Barkley. Ooh. A lot of people, there's people that think he might be going to the Eagles, which would be crazy. And people would think, oh, he could be the McCaffrey of the Eagles, which I could totally see Saquon Barkley going to a good team and becoming the Christian McCaffrey of that team. Absolutely. And he's going to make the Giants look foolish. The Justin Fields trade market is cold as teams don't view him as... Oh my God, yikes. Teams don't view Fields as more of a sure thing than Sam Darnold or Drew Lock. Oh my God. Like, why does everybody hate Justin Fields? He was actually pretty good after he came back from his injury. He only had one bad game against a Browns defense, which was one of the best in the league on its home floor in the cold weather. And I am in the minority, but I think the Bears should trade the pick and keep Justin Fields. A lot of people think they'd be stupid to trade the pick and keep Justin Fields. I mean, I understand if they trade Fields and go with Caleb Williams at first overall. But imagine if Caleb Williams is a bust and Justin Fields gets traded to, say, the Steelers, and the Steelers are all of a sudden, like, contending with the Chiefs in the AFC. Like, how bad would the Bears look? Like, the Bears would look horrible if that happened. And if they trade Fields and take Caleb Williams better freaking be the next coming of Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, you name it. Or maybe a notch below. Maybe more like Josh Allen at worst. Better be Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson at worst. And be a contender. Because if Justin Fields gets traded and that team all of a sudden is a contender and is winning titles, and Caleb Williams is not as good as Mahomes or even Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert or Lamar or even Tua, healthy Tua, then the Bears got themselves a problem. So I'm in the minority. The number one overall pick has the most value of anything in the NFL. Like, try to get the Giants to overpay. Try to get New England to overpay. Try to get the Raiders to overpay. Or somebody. We'll see. But this is something that we're going to be talking about for a while. The Cowboys are expected to cut Michael Gallup as they give him permission to seek a trade. I think I had Michael Gallup as a cut candidate for Dallas. I think I did. I'm not surprised. Because they're going to have to pay Dak, they're going to have to pay Parsons, they're going to have to pay Lamb. So they've cut some good players. It's like the Chargers. And it's like Miami. It's more like Miami than the Chargers situation. Because Miami has a lot of young guys that they have to pay. And then they're getting rid of a lot of veterans. Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are available as they're open to moving many veterans. Maybe I wouldn't consider Herbert a veteran yet. But he's the only untouchable on that team. The Jets and the Patriots wanted Jerry Jeudy. They were among 5 or 6 teams who had interest as the Browns acquired Jerry Jeudy from the Broncos. I believe it was for a 6th-round pick. That was a steal of a trade for Cleveland. A steal. I couldn't believe they got him for that little. So good on the Browns. It's just like the same thing with Amari Cooper. And then the Patriots and Hunter Henry have a new deal, 3 years, 27, max value of $30 million. The Steelers cut Patrick Peterson. That's not surprising. I think I had him as the cut candidate on that team. So Russell Wilson visited with the Giants, and then he visited the Steelers. And he had a great meeting with Arthur Smith and company. I thought Russell Wilson was heading to Atlanta. Like, that was my guess. But now it looks like they're hot for Cousins. I feel like Wilson's could end up on Minnesota if Cousins ends up in Denver or Atlanta. And another team that's linked the rest is the Raiders, which that wouldn't shock me. Justin Madubuike got an extension, 4 years, $98 million, $75.5 million guaranteed. That's not surprising. You would have thought they would have got that done. Deontay Johnson is drawing trade entrance as the Steelers are open to hearing offers for him. I don't think they're gonna get as good as they did with the Bears with what's his face, the former Notre Dame wide receiver. So the Eagles are open to trading Josh Sweat as they're expected to pursue Bryce Huff. He had 10 sacks for the Jets this past season. He's going to have a robust market. Derrick Henry likely done with the Titans. We'll see where he goes. In case the Giants lose Barkley, they're eyeing Austin Eckler and Tony Pollard. I think both those guys are downgrades from Barkley. If Pollard's significant, I would say. Eckler, there's a drop-off, but not a monster drop-off. And the Giants won't overpay for a running back. They just don't see value in investing $10 million in a running back. I think they said that because of Barkley. Well, they have a smarter front office in there now. That's why they're not going to overpay for a running back. If Dave Gettleman was still running the Giants, he would have overpaid Barkley, probably. And didn't he give... Or no, that was... I forgot who relieved Gettleman in Carolina, but he gave McCaffrey that contract. But It's Christian McCaffrey. They're two different players, but Barkley has a chance to have a McCaffrey type of impact on the right team. And the Giants also met with Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Rome Odunze. That's cool. I think any of those guys would be great in blue. Fletcher Cox retires, so there's two players that were longtime Eagles that retired. First Jason Kelce and now Fletcher Cox. And big news for the Kansas City Chiefs as Chris Jones gets the extension. 5-year guarantee deal, $95 million. Good job on the Chiefs for getting that done. So there's a lot of NBA stuff. Jalen Brunson took blame after the Knicks' defeat against the Sixers last night. He said, I played like dog shit. Well, the whole team played like dog shit. That was a terrible loss. You were a 7-point favorite. I know you're down Randall and Anunoby, but they were down Embiid, and Embiid is more valuable than those other two players are for the Knicks that you missed. And you went into Philly and kicked their ass a few weeks ago, and then you lay an egg at home. Granted, your defense played well, but if they had one of those guys, they probably win. Randall or OG. Bad news for the Houston Rockets. Alperen Sengun exited in a wheelchair as he has an apparent lower leg injury. He'll have an MRI today after being carted off the court. Jared Vanderbilt could return this season. He's been out since February 1st. He's progressing upward. That's good news for them. Stephen Curry has an ankle sprain, will miss a couple of games before being reevaluated on Tuesday. Benedict Mathurin out for the season. He'll have surgery to undergo surgery to repair torn labrum in right shoulder. That's a big loss for Indy. LeBron missed the game against the Bucks. Not great. But Stephen Curry's ankle MRI was clean. Not expected to miss much time, so that's good. Rudy Gobert fined $100,000 for making inappropriate gesture towards the officials. Not great. Some NHL trade deadline stuff. Jason Zucker traded to the Predators. Jake Allen to the Devils for a conditional third. And then they traded Vitek Vanacek for Kaapo Kakkonen. So New Jersey pretty much reshaped its goaltending room on the fly. Matt Dumba traded to the Lightning. And the 2025 7th for 2027 5th. I think that's a great trade for Tampa. Eric Johnson traded to the Flyers for a 4th-round pick. That's a good trade for Philly. I thought Philly needed to do something to keep themselves in the picture. Jack Razlovic traded to the Rangers for 2026 pick, so that's a depth move for them. John Tortorella suspended 2 games as he's also fined $50,000 for arguing with official and refusing to leave bench area against the Lightning. There was an unreal ending in the Wild Preds game as Minnesota pulls its goalie on 3-on-3 overtime, and had they lost, they would have had to sacrifice the point, which would have been crazy. Tomas Hertl traded to the Golden Knights for a 1st-round pick. That's a great trade for Vegas, getting Hertl in there. Evgeny Kuznetsov traded to the Hurricanes for the 2025 3rd. And then Kuznetsov was actually sent to Hershey. And now he's traded for a 3rd. So I think the Caps did well in that trade. Tyler Toffoli traded to the Jets. for 2 picks. So that's a good trade for Winnipeg. So Devils do both buying and selling, which is weird. So LSU women's basketball coach Kim Mulkey calls out South Carolina's Camila Cardoso for pushing Flajay Johnson. And then there's a scuffle, obviously, after both benches get ejected in the SEC title game for the women's. And then, obviously, Iowa wins the Big Ten tournament. And then Iowa pays homage to Kobe Bryant after their 3rd straight Big Ten title. That's pretty cool. There's an NIL in-season tournament planned as a couple of men's teams offered $1 million to participate. Duke and Kansas among programs and talks. I would expect UConn and North Carolina, Kentucky, maybe Gonzaga, Arizona, Michigan State. I think a lot of teams you're going to see in this. Maybe Texas, Tennessee, Houston. So just keep an eye on that. To me, this is a very interesting story. So there was a college basketball game flagged for gambling as a watchdog company says that UAB versus Temple had unusual wagering activity. So, in a statement on Friday, a Temple representative said that it was reviewing the game. They say, we are aware of the media reports regarding last night's men's basketball game. We'll review the reports thoroughly in accordance with university and NCAA policies. While we can't comment any further this time, we take this matter very seriously. So UAB opened as a 2.5-point favorite, but the betting line surged to 8 points favor UAB within 2 hours of Sportsbook opening for the game. As they say it was typically unheard of this late in college basketball season without meaningful news or injuries. So this is weird. And I think that there's more to the story. Colorado gets 68,000 applicants as there's a record-breaking application spike after Deion's first year. MPJ's brother enters the transfer portal. Javon Porter averaged over 16 a game at Pepperdine. Carter Knox, who's the little brother of Kevin Knox, commits to Kentucky over Louisville, Auburn, and more. 5-star small forward. That's not surprising. College football. Mizzou lands former Notre Dame quarterback Drew Pine after playing at Arizona State last season. Sean O'Malley stays UFC champ as he gets revenge by dominating Marlon Vera in UFC 299 main event. So some baseball stuff. Mookie Betts to be Dodgers shortstop as Dave Roberts says move is permanent for now. Was he becoming a utility player for crying out loud? Oh, this isn't good for the Cincinnati Reds. Noelvi Marte, who they got in the Luis Castillo trade, suspended 80 games after he violates the league's PED policy. Not great. Not great. Yankees shut down Oswald Peraza due to a shoulder injury for 6 to 8 weeks. He's looking more and more like a failed prospect by the day. Yikes. And he was untouchable in a lot of these trades. If the Yankees don't win a title in the Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole era, or most of the Aaron Judge era, it's going to be because they prospect hug too much. And the same could be said for the Dodgers if they don't win in this Ohtani era. And the era they currently have, although they did win the COVID title. But that was a different season. And granted, the title still counts. But if the Dodgers didn't win that title, we'd be saying the same thing about the Dodgers because they are known for prospect hugging too. And they only won one title. The Yankees haven't won one yet. But they could win one this season if they just need a B starter. They don't need another A. They need a B or a B plus, maybe even like a B plus or an A minus. If they get Blake Snell, they're going to be the team to beat in the AL East and probably in the American League too. Jordan Montgomery, if they get him, he's a B plus, and I would pick them to win the AL East. And I don't know if I'd pick them to go to the World Series if they got Jordan Montgomery, but I think they're like an above-average pitcher away from being the favorites to go to the World Series in the American League. But, like I said, if they don't win in this Judge era, it's because of the prospect hugging. And missing on, like, some older guys like Donaldson and, like, some of these other trades and whatnot. Bad news for the Chicago Cubs. Jameson Taillon can miss opening day as he will undergo further testing after injuring back in warm-ups. That's not great. And then Joey Votto signed a minors deal with the Blue Jays as Joey Votto posts a baby picture after signing with the Jays, which was cute. All right, so there you have it for the news and notes. Last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I got to admit this is actually a harder one to gauge on than I would think. I really like the soccer one for best bet. And it was a team that was plus against a really bad team. And I'm going to find it. Where is it? I'm going to do... What is Sevilla at the plus number in La Liga? That might have been it. The one I liked in soccer. I really didn't love any of my hockey options for best bet. I don't love any of the NBA ones. The college tournament ones are really close. So I'm going to take my chance in La Liga. And I'm going to take Sevilla at plus 125 this afternoon. I'm going to lay a fifth of a unit on it. I'm sorry, not a fifth, a 20th of a unit. Sevilla plus 125 on the money line against Almeria. My best bet of the day. So there you have it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything and looking at everything tomorrow too. We're going to have a lot of more NFL free agent stuff. And we're going to have a lot of more results in college basketball and with the portfolio. And I'm looking forward to it. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.